You just touch those little dots and you can see the measurements, okay? And my highest measurement so far was today, and that's 176.25. Now, over the course of time, now, again, when you hit the week average, it looks like it's been 3 weeks. I like seeing it go up like that. I like that in terms of my week averages. And the idea is to keep those averages going up. But just so you know, haven't been doing any stretches or reaches over the last 2 weeks. Okay? And here's why. Remember these steps? Read the Butterfly Way book and all that stuff. Remember these steps? Well, if I'm going to be coaching you on how to get taller, then I need to be doing whatever I'm telling you to do. Now, granted, everyone is different. So, I may not tell every person the same thing. But when it comes to the basics, I want to be doing the basics too. So, look at step number 10. And this is what's going on right now. I'm doing step number 10. Okay? And it says, in step number 10, it says, for at least 2 weeks, okay, daily write down your morning height within 1 minute of waking, which represents your absolute tallest height for that day. You may notice that your morning height is different from day to day, and you saw that. The morning height is different from day to day. Okay? And even though you're looking, when you do the week averages, it looks like it's 3 weeks. But in reality, it's not even a whole 2 weeks yet. Okay? It's not even 2 weeks. Even though it looks like 3 weeks. Okay? Because this first one here, that was a Thursday. And so, let me give you the exact date here. Yeah, July 9th. So count 14 days from July 9th and you will have 2 weeks. So 9 plus 14 is what? 23. Right? Yeah, 9 plus 14 is 23. So July 23rd would mark a complete 2 weeks. But here, you look at this tallest height here. That's July 19th, okay? So it hasn't been a full 2 weeks yet, okay? And this initial, it hasn't been a full 2 weeks yet. It just, how the weeks are positioned, it kind of makes it look like 3 weeks when you do this number here. And it just so happens, like right here in week 28, that was the tail end of that week. And for week 30, it's just beginning. Today was the first day of that week, okay? And so by Thursday, or even Wednesday morning, it will have been a complete 2 weeks, okay? Okay, so like it says, you may notice that your morning height is different from day to day. That's to be expected. But take special note of the height that represents the tallest of them all for that entire first week. Also take special note of your tallest height the second week. If you miss some days, no worries. No need to be a perfectionist. Just try to get as many morning height measurements as you can. Okay. So as you see here, I did skip some days. Okay. From July 10th to July 12th, I missed July 11th. From July 12th to July 14th, I missed July 13th. Okay? And then from July 17th to July 19th, I missed July 18th. Okay? I'm not getting all my height measurements in. Okay? Also, if we just want to note my tallest height for week 1, that was 176.16. And so far, my tallest height for week 2 is 176.25. Now, my goal, and for me, is a little bit different because I know what my tallest height is. And that's the height I claim. And it's 176.6. Okay? That's the height I claim. And so, in a perfect scenario, that's the height that I would see at some point this second week. Again, I'm not doing any stretches or routines. I'm just focused on living a bit more decent and getting my sleep, okay? I got some good sleep for the July 19th height. But honestly, all these other days, my sleep wasn't as complete, or at least on average. Yeah, you know, my sleep has some improvements to make. And the sleep was next level for July 19th. Now, I will see what happens on up till, we'll say Wednesday. Okay, Wednesday morning. Maybe Thursday morning, I don't know. No, let's say Wednesday morning, because that's the end of the 2 weeks, okay? Wednesday morning, okay? We'll see what happens. For me, regardless of what happens, I'm claiming 176.6 as my top height. And so for me, I don't say there has been a height increase until I surpass 176.6. Okay? That's the height that you saw in my last height increase video I did a few years ago. That was my top morning height, and that is a morning height that I claim. Okay? And so, over the course of days, though my height may be inching up, it may just go up and up and up. From one increase to the next, I really don't call it a height increase, okay? If my height continues to go up, it's not a real height increase. But once it gets to about, we'll say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, once it gets around here, and it crosses that threshold, that's a height increase. Okay. Yeah. And I'm in it now. I'm trying to think of a saying. I'm thinking, I won't even tell you. But, yeah, we in there, game on, as they say. I mean, oh, man. I'm going to be so happy. I'm going to be like, yeah, we in there. We in there. We doing the thing. Oh, man, what a moment. And this time, I like to take you to that moment with me. Yeah, I like to take you. Okay, and so, it's kind of cool. My height right now, this morning, is over here. Okay? It's not a long way off from here to there. Not a long way off. And again, I'm not focusing on doing reaches and stuff like that. Now, what's going to happen on day 15, okay? Because it's 14 days in 2 weeks. So, we're working our way to 14 days, because this is what I want you to do. During the first 2 weeks, now you may have already done this, and if you have, great. And it would be great if you actually do these 2 weeks before we work together. But assuming you don't, it's okay. Come on board. Let's work together. We will do these 2 weeks together. Okay? And the cool thing about it is, there's no pressure. We're just setting up our disciplines, our life, just getting things in order. You may need to order some things from Amazon. You may need to visit some farms or whatever. Know what you're going to do. You're making your list. You're doing whatever math you got to do. Right now, for the first 2, we're establishing baselines and we're getting things ready for when the height pops off. Which, again, brings a question. When does a height journey begin? There's different ways to look at that. When a height journey truly begins. Okay? Okay? Because, it's like I said, well, I'm going to save that for another video. That's a subject that needs to be talked about. Because a person can say I could say my height journey has begun, but in another way, it could be said it really hasn't begun yet. Okay? But in another way, it has. but it hasn't. Okay? And so there are different touch points, okay? There are different touch points. When you're establishing your baseline, and then there's another point when you're priming, because we can't even call this priming. This is something that I would call, in the past, I called it a soft priming. Soft priming means you are establishing a good sleep pattern, a good sleep routine. That's one way to prime. And then you add a layer to that. Hard priming is what I would call when, along with that sleep routine, you are doing reaches and stretches. Okay? And then there's the journey beyond that period of priming. So, a lot of ways to look at this. But at the end of the day, I'm here to help you to become taller than you ever were before. That's the whole deal. And what you're looking at is similar to a bodybuilder. Like when you look at all these heights here, if you take a bodybuilder like Arnold Schwarzenegger, he won all those Mr. Olympias, and then he took some years off, and then he came back and he won another one. It's not the best example because he was kind of smaller on this. I'm sorry. Here's the point I'm trying to make. Here's the point I'm trying to make. If a bodybuilder already got big before, and then he took some time off, and he wants to get bigger still, well, once he starts again, he got to become as big as he was before, and then some. And so this is what I'm doing here. But at the same time, it's like I'm still in these regions here, you know? I'm in these regions. It's like I haven't lost my height. I haven't lost it. We haven't even talked about evening height yet. We just talking about morning, okay? Morning. Okay. So, the point I want to make clear right now is this is just 2 weeks of establishing what our height is. And we're allowing 2 weeks to pass so we can see a wide variety of heights, most particularly if you've never done this before and you don't know how tall that you can naturally get right now without even trying to do anything. If you just slept good and maybe made some dietary changes as well, and you just established some good routines, if you just did that alone for 2 weeks, where would your height be? This is what we're establishing. Your naturally tallest height in the morning. And we're giving yourself 2 weeks to do that. And hopefully by the end of these 2 weeks, I'm going to see 176.6. I hope I do. Let's assume that I do. I see 176.6 by Wednesday. And let's say you were doing this with me and you see your tallest height by Wednesday. Okay? Then come Thursday. Oh. It's time for the next steps. We're going to be working on getting taller than that tallest height. Now, again, heights may fluctuate, but we're just looking for new peaks. Peak on up. Okay, now, let's see here. All right, I want you to just see some of the heights on the statiometer here. And I want you to see the height from today. That was the height from today. Again, you know, I didn't touch the statiometer. I took my height and measured it. Yeah. Wait. I measured my height and then I took a picture of it, but not just one. I took several pictures. Okay, just 3. And I may do that to see what's the best picture to show. Okay. I'm going to do a close-up of this one. You see? That one wasn't so good, but it still captured it. 176.25. Okay. And then we go to the next one. This, it was kind of blurry. 176.25. I didn't like this here. But anyway, here's another one. This was better. And you can see 176.25. That's a little more clear. But at the same time, I did not like that. Because it's like, if I'm making a thumbnail in a video or whatever, I just want all this to be visible. But anyway, that's sometimes why I may take multiple pictures. Yeah. Some might be blurry and all that stuff. I want to tell you a little bit about my mindset when I look at this. I'm like, okay, I know my top height is right there. That's it. And I'm like, yo, I'm that close. I'm that close. And if you measure it on the inches side, it's like, well, not quite right there, but it's like right. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm drawing bad. Yeah, it's around there somewhere, okay? It's around there somewhere. It's slightly above 5'9.5". And I'm like, man. So my goal is just get past that. I don't care if it's a notch, 1/4 of a millimeter, 1/2 a millimeter. I just want to break that threshold. Okay? Break it. And when I break it, I know it can be done. It's almost, again, this is not the best example, but you take a boxer and he boxing this big and tough dude, but then he get that dude to draw blood, man. He make, when a boxer make that other dude bleed, oh man, man, and that's when you realize so much at that point. I made him bleed. So, passing this threshold, it's like making the other dude bleed. Drawing blood. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, and I may just want to look at it for a while. See, I'm right there. It's like I'm so close. You know, I got a few lines. You know, you just break it down into lines. I got this line right here. Yeah, that line right there. Gotta pass that line. And then I gotta pass that one. And then I gotta pass that one right there. Gotta pass that one. Then boom. Get that. Who knows where it goes after that? Who knows? Because the ceiling has been broken. The ceiling has been.